Welcome to your week ahead preview. The single biggest event next week isn't on the economic calendar, it's the geopolitical shockwave from Seoul. After a historic 17% surge in the KOSPI, the question isn't whether Korea is repricing, but whether the rest of Asia can hold its breath. The week ahead is about whether this rally is a ceasefire trade or the start of a structural regime change. On the economic calendar, the data flow is secondary, but not irrelevant. Monday brings the global services PMI final readings, with the US ISM services report at 2 o'clock UTC on Wednesday. That's the week's highest impact release. The consensus expects continued expansion, but a sharp miss here would rekindle recession fears and contradict the market's current risk appetite. Thursday at 12:30 UTC brings the latest US jobless claims, always a volatile data point in August. Friday at 6 o'clock UTC sees the New York Fed's survey of consumer expectations, a sleeper release. If inflation expectations tick higher, it complicates the rate cut narrative. We're also getting trade balance figures from Germany and Australia and the latest RBA policy decision, which we'll cover in a moment. The core message: the calendar is light, so markets will anchor on the Korea story and the Federal. On central banks, the Fed is in blackout period ahead of the September meeting. That means no speakers, but we still get the interest rate expectations data from the CME. Pricing currently suggests a coin flip between a 25 and 50 basis point cut in September. The dollar index closed at 99.80, barely holding above the critical 100 handle. If the dollar breaks lower, that's a clear signal that the market is forcing the Fed's hand. The Bank of Japan is the other major risk. US dollar to Japanese yen settled at 157.40 after a significant yen strengthening. With intervention risk high, any verbal pushback from Japanese officials next week could trigger another bout of yen strength, which would pressure the Nikkei. The RBA decision is very early Tuesday morning. Expect a hold, but the language will be crucial for the Australian dollar at 0.7025. The Bank of Korea is now the wild card. With the KOSPI up 18%, there's no way policymakers stay silent. This is an unusually light week for US earnings, but the implications are massive. We're entering the dog days of August, but there are still significant names reporting. Look out for entertainment and consumer names like Disney, plus a few financials and smaller tech companies. The key focus is on any additional guidance from semiconductor names in the wake of Samsung's surge. The read across from Samsung's 26% move is the critical metric. If suppliers echo that strength, the AI hardware trade resumes. But be cautious. Companies with August earnings don't command the same options pricing as the megacaps, so the implied moves are more muted. However, any company that provides commentary on consumer health, especially the discount retailers and travel names, will be a bellwether for the US consumer. The theme is less about the earnings themselves and more about the supply chain reaction to Asia's semiconductor rally. Geopolitics dominates everything. The Korea situation is the center of gravity. Is the KOSPI's move predicated on a genuine diplomatic breakthrough? If those hopes fade, expect a violent reversal. The US-Iran situation is another flashpoint. Multiple embassies have issued travel warnings amid credible reports of pending US military action. Oil at $84. 67 WTI and $90. 12 Brent has not yet priced in a full conflict. Any escalation that threatens the Strait of Hormuz sends crude through the roof. Also watch the Trump administration's new $874 million CHIPS Act award to global foundries. This signals that the administration is pivoting to AI infrastructure. Expect more policy news on export controls this week as the Commerce Department finalizes its semiconductor rules. Any hint of harder restrictions on China would pressure the Hang Seng, which is sitting at 25,884, right at a critical support zone. Looking at technicals, the S&P 500 at 7,489 faces immediate resistance at 7,512, last week's high. Support is at 7,400. A break below that opens the door to a rapid sell-off towards 7,250. The Nasdaq at 25,373 is riding the AI wave. Watch Apple and Micron after last week's sell-off. Micron at 823, if it stops falling, that supports the entire semiconductor complex. For Asia, the KOSPI at 6,595 is at extreme overbought levels after a historic spike. Do not chase it here. The Nikkei at 64,362 is capped by the 65,364 high. Gold at $4,107 hit resistance and pulled back. The metal is consolidating. A close above $4,160 signals safe haven demand is returning. A close below $4,050 signals the market believes the geopolitical storm has passed. Bitcoin at $63,405 is range-bound between $60,000 and $66,000. Until it breaks either end, crypto is noise. For the dollar index at 99.80, the level to watch is 99.50. A break below that is a green light for a weaker dollar and a tailwind for gold and emerging markets. A few final other events to keep on your radar. Markets move fast. We break it down daily so you don't have to. Subscribe for your edge, delivered fresh every session.